Oh my gosh, so sorry, you guys. I'm live. I just want to make sure that, we are going live. I'm so sorry, you guys. Sometimes we have some glitches that can potentially affect our ability to go live. And this is one of those few times. And I am trying so hard to see. There we go. Awesome. So I'm going to add that back. All right. So I think we're all good. Everybody's live. Yay. I missed last week. So today I want to talk to you guys about really talking about the revolutionary approach to healing. How applying the alkaline method for ultimate self-empowered healing is what we're trying to promote. Because as a clinician for over 20 years, I've learned that science is not always black and white. And I'm learning more of this to be true with this post-COVID and all the things that I see. There are so many gray zones where most patients experience their symptoms. And gray zones have variables that are different for each patient. So there's a severity, chronicity, epigenomics, lifestyle, eating habits, general habits, your stress levels, you're prone to stress, your life, your awareness, toxic exposure, life circumstances, allergens, life trauma, and all the things and so much more. There's a lot of things that impacts us in different ways. Hello there. And we know that there's a threshold for disease, and the line between health and disease is blurred more and more. And in fact, most patients live their lives in substandard environments where they are barely getting by, thinking that actually absence of disease is really healthy. Okay. This can't be furthest from the truth, you guys. All serological lab work can be absolutely normal. Yet the patient may have symptoms. And in contrast, all labs may be abnormal, but the patient does not have any symptoms. What do, right? Because at the end of the day, the lab markers are just a small window of what's happening. There's acute phase reactants and there's different things to fluctuate. And sometimes those levels have to be so bad for an extended amount of time for it to reach the threshold to where you start to have symptomology. So do we twiddle our fingers and wait, or are we getting busy to do the things? And better yet, learn how you can utilize your body to read into the receptors and the signals that it's giving you constantly and begin to pay attention, because that's something your doctor can't do. What we do know is that we have an underlying medical industrial complex, right? Running our system so much so that economically it's in their best interest to keep patients sick. That's really where the problem is. The medical industrial complex consists of more than a dozen major components, which include the hospitals, the nursing homes, physicians, both salaried and fee-for-service, home health agencies, supply and equipment manufacturers, drug companies, insurance companies like health insurance, managed care organizations. But one thing is for sure, we have a pervasive systematic problem that is wreaking havoc in the lives of so many of us, me included as an autoimmune patient. We know that we need a new methodology, one that can flip the broken model upside down for the ultimate healing for patients and put them in control over their longevity and their health. Stop being dependent on the doctors to fix you. That's a broken model, you guys. It's no longer we can heal. We're not the healers. We're the powerful mentors who can guide our patients through. And as a healthcare practitioner, I don't want the responsibility of me wholeheartedly getting somebody to heal, because that takes away all their independence, their will, and their awareness away from them. I take their power and say, I heal you. Like, no, that doesn't work. I don't want to play God. But there are things that my knowledge base that might help them, mentor them through, and make sense of the gap between the spaces where nobody else is doing. Because the whole systematic impact of our culture today is really about compartmentalizing, right? And really, the biggest systemic impact of our culture is deeply rooted in marketing manipulation that tends to be for profit. We wake up every day bombarded with other people's agenda for what we should eat, wear, live, exercise, and all the things biting for our attention to follow the new trends. But as we get busier doing those things, we get further and further away from our biological receptors and the tuning in. So much so now we rely on other people to tell us how we should feel, how we ought to, and how we must do all the things based on external things, never from the inside out. And we need to change that, you guys. We are wired and tired, mired with so much distraction that most of us are puppets to an already toxic system that keeps us from thinking for ourselves and finding our truth. You as a practitioner, same way. And I know you guys are bombarded. Many of you guys watching me or listening to my podcast are very much involved in your ability to be the best versions of yourself. So with that being said, my puppy's done. With that being said, I just want to hold. With that being said, I just want to make sure that you guys understand the importance of teaching your clients or patients to really go from inside out, right? Finding the truth of who we really are really starts with awareness. It's when we understand the habitual nature of our existence that we can move forward to a better place to understand the role that each of us individually play in our own health and longevity. And that's power back to us. And this is where I felt compelled to create an ultimate blueprint for both healing or health practitioners and patients to use and apply the truly integrative approach to healing that truly empowers them to heal from the inside out. Understanding that our body and mind has long lost touch with connecting with itself, so much so that we don't know how to gauge the constant signaling that our bodies are providing every second, minute, and hour of every single day. We don't even pay attention, but yet we'd rather be scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, or ask a doctor, Google everything, right? And that doesn't give us what we need because we're not going at it from the inside out. Because we have an inability to read into our body and get the message, we look to all the things outside of us, like asking the doctors what's wrong with us on the inside, to do all the diagnostic things to change the hardest thing, or to chase the hardest thing is to pin that down, right? And this is because the root of all disease lies in the soil and the roots. Our bodies are, if you were to liken it like to a tree with the roots and soil is our genetics, or where our genetics are programmed. And it's under the surface where we can't see or measure. And so most doctors and scientists, they completely ignore that because it's not something they can measure or see. And so it's dismissed as lack of science evidence, right? We know that we were born with genetic programming, and our soil epigenomics modify our gene expression both positively and negatively. We know this, so a little bit of extrapolation is warranted here. Then there's the trunk of the tree. The trunk is where we see the effects of our thoughts, our emotions, and the choices we make on a daily. And this is a large part dependent on the roots and soil, but because we're conditioned to look for answers outside of us, we seek medical care to try to feel better. The branches then represent the results of the health of the trunk. So roots, the soil, right, under the surface, the trunk, and then the branches. What we think, feel, and to do dictate the health of our branches, really. So we can't dissect the soil and the roots from the trunk, nor can we separate the branches from the trunk. The tree should be looked at it as a whole system. The ecosystem within and outside of the tree has a collective impact in the health of the tree. So when medical sciences view the body as different systems to be measured and made sense of, often they miss the big picture. This is where they miss all the goodness between the lines. They fail to connect the dots. Yet they're so compartmentalized that they're just busy being right in their own scopes. And that's where we're failing our patients. The system keeps them compartmentalized to make sense of the coding for payments. And at the end of the day, it's designed for economic benefit, and it's not always in the best interest of the patients. So it best serves for profit systems that have no bearing on forward progress of medical sciences. It's highly profit driven, nothing wrong with that. But if it takes away from our choice and our self-empowered healing, then I have to take a stance. Knowing this, okay, the premises of all the things that we do in functional yoga medicine is that healing is an inside job. The more we can shift disempowered victims towards self-empowered healers, the more we can eradicate excess spending and perpetuation of disease and change the trajectory of our so-called healthcare system that is more like sick care system. True healthcare system starts with each patient. We need more informed practitioners who are committed to empowering their patients and understand that they themselves are not the healers, that they are powerful healing mentors that can help their patients shift from sick to health. You've got to get out of this technician mindset and start stepping into becoming a powerful healing mentor that you are. Because your patients need guidance, accountability, support, and mentoring. And that's what they desperately need. But more than superficial approaches, we need a truly integrative approach that is capable of transforming pain, fear, and suffering into freedom, courage, and joy. So how do we do this? Well, we do this by applying the Alkaline method. 20 years in this field, I've realized in my background as a psychology, nutrition, physical medicine, functional medicine, yoga medicine, and all the things, I learned that you can't compartmentalize, sorry about that, you guys. You can't keep staying in the lane to try to pull it all together. You need a comprehensive approach. And there are 4 elements that I came up with to help as many healthcare practitioners as possible to really step into becoming a powerful health mentor that you are. But that does require you to be more business savvy. It does require you to be a really conscious, transformative coach. As well as to apply the modernized functional medicine aspects of it and learn business mastery, right? And really the first part of the program is all about understanding timeless wisdom, which include the 3 pillars: yoga, energy, and spiritual health. The second part of the element is a transformational psychology, where we understand what's beneath the surface of the tree, the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, which is the trunk, and all the coaching to tie it all together. The third element is modernized functional medicine with its 3 pillars: the stress brain, gut brain, and immune brain. And then lastly, you get to learn all about business mastery, because again, economics drive everything that we do, and you need to learn sales and marketing, program development, systems, process, and learn all about scalability are the 3 essential pillars. Because at the end of the day, we all want a quality of life doing things that we love to make this world a better place. And one thing I've learned is that when we get hyper-focused on expanding the lives of those we serve, we gain so much more edification and joy. And when you're edified and joyful, this world starts to become a better place. I believe we need a new generation of healthcare practitioners who are ready to stand up for what they believe, those who refuse to give in to the status quo, and are willing to trailblaze through the road less traveled to actually make a difference. Because those of us who are crazy enough to think that we can, always do. So I want you to join me where we have elevated conversations about what we can do to be a part of the solution. So click the link below and I will see you all in the Facebook group called the Functional Yoga Medicine. We will be hosting a workshop at the end of the month and you will be linked there as well, and you don't want to miss it. As well as I would greatly appreciate it, you guys, if you guys can leave a positive review, because on my podcast called Functional Yoga Medicine, it's a new revolutionary approach to healing, to empower you, to shift you from just health technicians to powerful health mentors that you're meant to be. Because you're meant, if you're listening here, you're meant for more than what you're doing, you guys. And I hope you guys stand for what you believe and really, really make a difference through the work that you do, in the lives that you serve, because us patients need more of you. And so with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye for now.